जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा तय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि गो एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद जैसी भक्ति वेदांत सांसुपोपाद की जाए एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सब ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जाए नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जाए प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा वर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदेव मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनमय की जय भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल रीस्ट टू असेंबली बॉडीज हरे कृष्ण ऑल रीस्ट टू असेंबली बॉडीज हरे कृष्ण all रीस्ट टू असेंबली बॉडीज हरे कृष्ण all रीस्ट श्री गुरु and गौरांग गोपाल की जय ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे Okay, thank you all for joining. We are discussing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. We're in the beginning. We started a few weeks ago only. So Bhagavad Gita, this is rather Panchatattva deities from Sridham Mayapur or ISKCON World Headquarters. We will be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield, verse number, this is the third section we are in. So verse number 21 to 26 or so. And then we'll try to understand. Today is much more sweet pastimes as Purushottam month is coming, and also today's topic is such. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tatsat. Chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield, verse number 21 to 22. Arjuna Vacha Senayorubhayormadhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta Yavat Etan Niriksheham Yodhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya Sah Yodhavyam Asmin Ranasamudjame. Arjuna Vacha Senayorubhayormadhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta Yavadetan Niriksheham Yodhukamanavasthitan Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudyame. More time. Arjuna Vacha Senayorubhayormadhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta. In this section, this word is important. Achyuta. Lord's name specifically called out. Yavat etan niriksheham yodhukamanavasthitan kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. Arjuna said, Senayo of the armies, Ubayo both, Madhye between, Ratam the chariot, Stapaya please keep me my Achyuta, O infallible one, Yavat as long as, Etan all these. Etan, all this. Nirikshe, may look upon. Aham, I, Yodhukaman, desiring to fight. Avasthitan, arrayed on the battlefield. Kai, with whom? Maya, by me. Saha, together. Yodhavyam, have to fight. Asmin, in this. Rana, strife. Samudyame, in the attempt. Translation by Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Repeat. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight, with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Verse number 23. योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एते अत्र समागता दार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धे युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एते अत्र समागता दार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एते अत्र समागता दार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षव योत्स्यमानान् those who will be fighting avekshe let me see aham I ye who ete those atra here samagata assembled dartarashtrasya for the son of Dhritarashtra durbuddhe evil minded yuddhe in the fight priya well Chiketsha wishing, translation by Sri Prabhupada. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Repeat. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Verse number 24. Again, important words are used in this section. This is also important word. Sanjay Vacha Evam Mukta Rishikesho Gudakesena Bharata. Not Gudakes also important. Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Rathottamam. Sanjay Vacha Evam Mukta Rishikesho Gudakesena Bharata. Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Rathottamam. संजय उवाच एवं मुक्तो ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्. संजय उवाच संजय said, एवं thus ukta addressed Rishikesha, Lord Krishna, Gudakesena by Arjuna, Bharata, O descendant of Bharata, Senayo of the armies, Ubayo both, Madhye in the midst, Stapayitva placing, Ratha Uttamam the finest chariot. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of the both parties. But Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Verse number 25. भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्चैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति. भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्चैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति. भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्चैतान् समवेतान् कुरून् इति. Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, Drona, the teacher Drona, Pramukata in front of Sarvesham, all, Cha also Mahikshitam, the chiefs of the world. Uvacha said, Partha, O son of Pratha, Pasya, just behold, Etan, all of them, Samavetan, assembled, Kurun, the members of the Kuru dynasty, iti, thus. In the translation by Sri Prabhupada, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. Please repeat. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. Verse number 26. तत्र पश्य स्थितान् पार्थ पितॄन् अता पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा स्वसुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि. तत्र पश्य स्थितान् पार्थ पितॄन् अता पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा स्वासुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि. Tatra there, apasyat, he could see, sthitan, standing, Partha, Arjuna, Pitrun, fathers, Ata also, Pitamahan, grandfathers, Acharyan, teachers, Matulan, maternal uncles, Bratran, brothers, Putran, sons, Pautran, grandsons, Sakin, friends, Tata, two. Swasuran, fathers-in-law, Suruda, well-wishers, Cha also, Eva, certainly, Senayo of the armies, Ubayo of both parties, Api including. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of the both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. Repeat. There, Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of the both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers in law and well wishers. Verse number 27. This is the last verse for this section. Tan samikshasa kaunteya sarvan bandho navasthitan कृपया परया अभिष्ट विसीदन् इदम् अब्रवीत्. तान् सामीक्ष्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धो न वस्थितान् कृपया परया विष्टो विसीदम् idam अब्रवीत्. The samiksha also important word in devotion service in even material cases also. This comes in Bhagavad Gita and few other places. We'll see. तान् सामीक्ष स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धो न वस्थितान् कृपया परया आविष्टो विसीदन् idam तान् all of them. Samiksha, after seeing, sa he, Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, Sarvan, all kinds of Bandhun, relatives, Avasthitan, situated, Krupaya, by compassion, Paraya, of high grade, Avishta, overwhelmed, Visidan, while lamenting, Idam, thus, Abravit, spoke. Translation by Prabhupada. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Repeat. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So we'll try to understand. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaः. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So this is the Arjuna Vishada Yoga we're discussing, or Sainya Darshan, or observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So we are in the third section. This section today is from 21 to 27 is called Bhakta Vatsal. How the Lord very, very merciful to his devotees. So that's why the past tense will be very sweet today. The first section we discussed from 1 to 13 is preparing for battle. As they are all assembled on the battlefield, there's a comparison going on where it's laying out how Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, what we see in this material world, full of cunning, jealousy, enviousness, so all the mode of ignorance, and that's what we see in the character of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra that has been fully exemplified. And then wherever these characteristics are there, they'll be losing the battle. They'll be losing. So they'll have to take many, many births until they realize their position, until they realize their original position, original identity with their identity and their relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that is the first section 1 to 13, preparing to battle. And then from 14 to 20, we discuss about the signs of victory. On the Pandava side, how we could see the blowing of the conch shells, but Kaurava said it was not there. The five conch shells were described of Lord Krishna's and Arjuna's and Bhima's and Yudhishthira Maharaj and Nakula and Sahadeva's five Pandavas and Lord Krishna's six of them, which has broken, it has described Divya Shankha Pradadut Madhu, transcendental sounds. It broke the hearts of the Duryodhana and party. It is clearly laid out in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita itself is laid out that all these, those who are not following the Sadhu and Shastra and Guru, they will be wiped out as unwanted plants are taken out while doing the agriculture, growing of the plants. Same way, these unwanted plants of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana will be taken out. So, has been specified in the first verse of Dhritarashtra Vaja Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetra Samaveta Yutsava Mamaka Pandava Chekyamar Sanjay. Now, today's section is third section where Lord Krishna has been called out as Achyuta, infallible, and that's why this section is called Bhakta Vatsal. So, where it is being described here that Lord Achyuta is called because Lord here Arjuna is the actual devotee, but Lord Krishna is infallible. Lord's position is infallible. That means he, whatever position he may take, but he's always the supreme Lord. Even if he takes the baby position, even if he takes the bird or whatever form he may take, he's always supreme. He's always, he never gets contaminated. He's not he's not a human being. He's always supreme. He's always Ishvara. Never gets contaminated. He's omniscient. He's omnipotent. Is Sarvagna, is fully cognizant of what's going on, always, all the time, not just one place, but all over the world, material world, spiritual world. That is his position. But when his devotee wants to be controlled, when he wants to give himself to Lord Krishna, when he wants Lord Krishna's association, Lord Krishna's relationship, Lord Krishna's loving relationship, then Lord Krishna gets sold out. And that's what we'll see in the beautiful pastimes of Lord Jagannath, and then we'll come to Lord Krishna's pastimes also in when Lord Krishna is entering into Mathura. So we see the beautiful pastimes uh, of uh, conversation with various devotees. So first, Nilachal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrayam Jagannathaaya Te Namaha. So Lord Jagannath has many devotee pastimes are there, but we'll read some of the pastimes so that we can understand how. So the main underlying point here is three things are there mentioned. Lord Achyuta is called out infallible. How Lord becomes subservient to devotees, controlled by devotees' love exchange. The second point, second word is used, Gudakesha. How Arjuna being a devotee of the Lord, great devotee of the Lord, very much, very ardent devotee of the Lord. That's why Lord calls out, you are my most dearmost. That's why I'm speaking to you, Bhagavad Gita. He's not speaking on 64 crores of men assembled, great warriors, Bhishma, Drona. So many are there, but he's not speaking to anyone. Specifically chose Arjuna because he's the dearmost. So that's what we have to become. That's why he's able to conquer his sleep. Not only sleep, Gudaka is the second word, is ignorance. Ignorance is destroyed. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvam dadam buddhi yogam tam enamam upyantati. By loving devotion service, Lord will give his Krishna bhakti and he will sharpen the intelligence of the devotee. Even if he is never went to school, never learned anything, but still he will invest, he will provide all the knowledge necessary. Tesham evanu kamparta maham ajnanajam tama nasayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena vas. By putting a torchlight of knowledge, he illuminates within the heart of the devotee. However, lowest background, whatever background he may be coming from. So that is the second word we have seen in this section. And the third one is also samiksha. Here, samiksha means there are three things. One in material activities and more so important in spiritual activities. Three things one must do: samiksha, pratiksha, and pariksha. One must observe. One must observe based on a sadhu and shastra. One must observe what activity they should perform, what offenses they are performing, what do's, what are the do's and what are the don'ts. From the, just like when you're driving the car, there are do's and don'ts. When you have a home, say there are do's and don'ts from the government. You have to pay the tax bills, you have to pay the water bills. You cannot trespass somebody else's house. All these things are there. Same ways for Shastra, also for human beings specifically, there are rules. Otherwise, yes, Shastra vidim ustrija. Minute somebody gives up Shastra's injunctions, वर्तते काम न सिद्धिम न वापनोति न लभते पराम. No perfection, no happiness, will be distressed, will be conditioned, will be chained up, because that is the law of the material nature. We can surpass the laws of this government and everything. We can hide, we can evade the tax, whatsoever. But there is no way we can evade, we can get away from the injunctions of the Shastra, and especially the is external energy. Durga Devi has 10 hands with 10 weapons. No one can escape from her. No one can escape her. However great Ravana or Hiranyakashipu, however great they are, no one can escape from her jaws of the this material nature. So, so that's how much strong, powerful the external energy is. But one who takes them, that is a samiksha. One must examine what is the Vedic culture we are following. What are the do's, what are the don'ts, what is my position, why I'm here, why I'm suffering, where I should go, what is my destination, why I'm suffering. These questions to be asked. So that is the samiksha. And there should be, and then you have to wait, you have to patiently serve, patiently understand, learn, and practice it. That is pariksha. And you will be tested. Pratiksha, there should be patience, determination, enthusiasm must be there. You cannot expect, even if somebody wants to have a child, and has to wait. You cannot just marry and then immediately you'll have a child in a few days. It cannot happen. So for anything, you have to practice it. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanayam. That is the second thing. Pariksha. And a pratiksha, you have to wait. With patience and determination, enthusiasm cannot be lost. You have to wait. And then pariksha, and you will be tested. You cannot be withered. Oh, I have been tested. That means this process doesn't work. Let me go and do this and let me go and do that. No, this process doesn't work, looks like. So, no, that cannot work. So, Samiksha, we have to constantly examine ourselves. Just like ideal student, you will always examine. I need to write a final exam of MBBS, whatever. More tough. These days, medical exams are very crazy and tough. Lot of study, more than other fields. Medical is more tough. After MBBS, after MD, everywhere the entrance exams are very, very tough. Less seats and it's too difficult. Sometimes they get frustrated. They go back to India, they go back to the place where they came from. They couldn't get seats or residency or whatever. So much. It is very, very getting very difficult. So, but one who's very serious, determined, no matter what, rain or rain, I will get this. I will depend on my endeavor and the Lord, and I will get it. So that must be there. So that is the samiksha. We are always constantly we have to examine ourselves, and then we have to and patiently do it. Pratiksha and then pariksha. When we'll get the test. If you pass the test, that's why we take test. If it is SAT or ACT, whatever exams we are been writing in the material world, even in the board exams, even in the corporate world, also we have exam certifications and various exams. For that also we practice it. We take tests. Whether able to practice tests are always there, so that we know where we are. If we don't examine, we don't test ourselves, then final exam we can't expect that, oh, why did I fail? Why all these thoughts are coming? So why Krishna didn't come? We cannot expect at that time. First, we have to do our job first. So that's why these things, this samiksha is also important. Samiksha, pratiksha, pariksha. These three things. Now coming to the most important aspect is the how one can become. The underlying point is how one can become. Lord can become subservient of a devotee, or how Lord can shower His mercy when what is the underlying point is a very important point is Atmasat. One must take shelter of those devotees who have become the closest person to the Lord. Atmasat. When Lord makes a devotee his own member of his family, then anyone following them, anyone taking shelter of them, anyone hearing, anyone following their instructions, anyone coming to take their shelter, their life is perfect because they are taking shelter of the person who has become the Lord Krishna's family. In this case, Pandavas. Lord Krishna has considered Pandavas is his own family. He left his own citizens of Dwarka and came here personally to spend time, months. When Yudhishthira said, no, Lord, you cannot go. Then Lord broke his promise. He had a plan. Who can? Generally, when we have plan, our plan gets vanquished. It goes by the Lord's plan. Karmana daiva netrena jantor deva. It goes by the Lord's plan. But in the case of Pandavas, they could control the Lord. Lord's plan got broke. He had to wait. He had to stay for another 10 days when Yudhishthira asked. See, this is the law. So that's how Lord becomes infallible. Achyuta, in this case, he became a chariot driver. So it doesn't happen for anybody and everybody. It happens only one who has taken shelter. Arjuna has taken full shelter of the devotees of the Lord. Pandavas are always serving the devotees of the Lord. Whether they are in the forest, whether they are in have a kingdom, wherever they were from the childhood beginning to end, they are always Whether it's Vidura or Vyasdev, Daumya, you name it. All the sages are always visiting wherever they are. They never worried about how I'm going to feed them, how I'm going to serve them. They are not worried. They are fully dependent on the Lord. They're always praying to the Lord and His devotees. They're always taking guidance. So that's why they are called Atmasat. And we'll see the differences. Now, with this context, with this background, now we'll understand this pastime so that we know what are we learning, what is our main important point here in this particular section. We have to try to develop our consciousness towards. So now there are three devotees of Lord Jagannath. The was Manohar Das and Shyamananda, Rasikananda, King Rasikananda, and Raghudas. We'll see, depending on knowledge, 735. Okay, now the first pastime of Bhakta Manohar Das, where Lord is showering His mercy, Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is connected to many Veshas. Lord has many Veshas throughout the year. Lord wears different costumes, different dresses, different attires. 14, 16 different Veshas are there. One of them is Padma Vesh. So how did it come? So on that, the description is there. So where this particular devotee, the devotee Sadhu Manohar Das started his journey from a distant village Sahapur to Sri Kshetra Puri, Jagannath Puri, on foot covering a long distance and reached Sri Kshetra Puri on the Amavasya day of Magha month. For days together he walked on the road to reach Puri. In course of his long journey, Manohar Das on his way found a tank in the roadside and found beautiful 100-petaled red lotuses flowering and floating on the water of the tank. It came to the mind of the devotee Manohar Das, out of devotional sentiment, that same flowers can be collected for offering to the Supreme Lord at Puri, Jagannath Puri. Accordingly, forgetting the distance and time factor to reach Puri, he collected some fresh lotus flowers and packed those in his gamcha, red towel, by binding through knot. He reached Puridham and halted at Bada Chata Mutt, just adjacent to the Sri Mandir, Jagannath main temple. Boundary wall of the eastern side in the right side of Purvadwar. Throughout, throughout the painful and long journey, his mind and thought was ever filled with joy that he is going to offer lotus flowers to Lord Jagannath. No other thought disturbed him. He proceeded and reached inside the temple. The Sevakas asked what he has knotted in his gamucha. He opened the knot and showed the lotus flowers. But alas, those lotus flowers were no more fresh. That's why if you observe lotus flower, always they keep with the water some cloth at the end so that it stays fresh at least few days because they ship from India here at least India. I don't know how they keep it. He opened the knot and showed the lotus flowers, but alas, the lotus flowers are no more fresh. Those have already dried. Some have rotted and color changed to pale and black. The Sevakas beat him in cane sticks for taking rotten flowers due to severe injury and mental shock. Manohar Das fell on the ground unconscious. The people of the Bada Chata Mutt brought him back and put him in rest in unconscious stage in the mutt. In the dream, Gajapati Maharaj of Puri, generally Lord Jagannath. This is again Atmasat. Unless the devotee has a intense absorption and reciprocation with the Lord, he thinking Lord is his own family, is I belong to the Lord, and Lord is also thinking that he is mine, he is mine. I am yours, he is mine. So this surrender. This is called Atmasat. So that's what is happening here. With otherwise, Lord will not appear to you and me. So it's not easy to get the dreams of the Lord or the spiritual masters. And instructing or giving indications. But here it's happening to the king of Puri. In the dream, Gajapati Maharaj of Puri could see the Lord telling him to go to Manohar Das, to take the lotus flowers from him and offer it to him and allow the devotee Manohar Das to enter into the temple to share his sevas and darshan. The Gajapati called the Rajaguru, namely Bhavadev, and told the contents of his dream. The Rajaguru took Manohar Das and the lotus packed Gamucha to the Sri Mandir. In front of the Vigrahas, he opened the knot and asked the Sevakas to offer the lotus. By taking from the Gamucha of Manohar Das, and lo, The lotuses, though were previously dry and black in color, could get fresh leaves of life, became fresh, red and purple colored, and emanated divine and sweet fragrance. Being put on the Vigraha of Lord showed smiling face with appearance as if blessing all. To remember such an exchange of love between the Supreme Lord and the devotee, to inspire other devotees each year, Padma Vets is made on the day fixed. Badachat Mat offers Kiri Seva to the Lords on this day in Sri Mandir. That Kiri Prasad is distributed next day to the devotees. You can understand the intensity, the absorption of Manohar Das. That's what Lord is. Baba Grahi Janardana. Lord's one name is Janardana. He's only looking how much is. Duryodhana also tried to put so many items, thousands of items, big feast arranged. Did Lord Krishna do? No, Lord Krishna rather went to Vidura's house. He was eating banana peels. Vidura's wife was complete in ecstasy, Lord coming. Then she forgot what she is giving. She was giving banana peels instead of the actual banana. But Lord ate it. So that is, it is the intensity, the absorption the devotee has. That is what Lord is accepting. Bhava, the consciousness with which. That's why always, whenever we visit temple, whether here in India or in US or in India, wherever we are, we should try to take a lotus flower, try to take any flower, fragrant flowers, nice and fresh. Whenever we go to the grocery shop, also always the absorption should be about the Lord. We will be satisfied automatically. When we are thinking of the Lord, Lord is always thinking of all living entities. Samoham sarva bhuteshnath veshostana priya. He is equal to all, he is compassionate to all. He will provide everything. But when we think of him, automatically everything will be blissful. Arrangement will be nice. So when we go to grocery shop also, we should see always what is fresh, what is nice, what I can offer to the Lord. Even if it is at home, you are cooking, you are offering, you are eating yourself, but still, this should be the mood. What I can today offer to the Lord. This should be the mood. Not that what my child, my family, or I am going to eat. I like this. No, rather we should put the Lord in the front. What I should offer, what is fresh here. If it is not fresh here, let me go to the other store. What is fresh, I should offer. What is fragrant, what is nice and has smell, then we should offer the flowers also, ideally. That's what Manohar Das immediately thought about Lord Jagannath. So he took all the pain to do that. So that's why Lord accepted, even though others couldn't recognize. Here also we see that Pariksha will be there. Manohar Das could have thought, he would have gone back, but Lord could understand his service, and he also had patience. He felt unconscious, obviously, because he was beaten, but still he didn't lose his enthusiasm. And then Lord reciprocated. And many pastors, sometimes we will be tested. Sometimes here also, any temple you go, many times they may not accept what we are giving, what we are taking. Sometimes we have to pray, we have to beg. Then service also same thing. Sometimes we may look for service, but service is not given. Our service is taken away sometimes. So we have to sincerely pray and patiently wait, and Lord will listen to our prayers, and then Lord will arrange those things. So that's what. Now the next one, Lord, this is Rasikananda, Swami Rasikananda, how Lord Jagannath reciprocated. Lord Jagannath, the Puri Dham, always understand the devotion of his devotees. He waited for the arrival of Muslim devotee Salbeg. Salbeg was in Vrindavan. So he waited almost 2 months. Radha supposed to start on a particular day, and he has been told day before that, hey, Radha Yatra is happening. Why are you here? Lord Jagannath Radha Yatra is happening in Jagannath Puri. Then he intensely prayed to Lord Jagannath that how I am going to come. I have to walk and come. Please kindly wait for me. He intensely prayed. Then Lord Jagannath, nobody could move Rath. Lord Rath didn't even move until Salbek came. He was a Muslim. So, but his consciousness is very much absorbed and attached to Lord Jagannath. So Lord waited for them. So like that, he's telling here that Salbek and Bhakta Baliya Balram Das to move in his car from Lion Gate of Sri Mandir to go to Sri Gundecha temple. Another such incident of his waiting for his devotee is Swami Rasikananda in his car during the annual car festival at Puri is worth mentioning. Rasikananda was born in the year 1590 AD at Rohini Nagar, studied on the bank of river Suvarna Lekha, which is now in Balasore district of Orissa. The boy's name was Rasika Murari. His passion for the Lord was found in his childhood when he was uttering the name of Lord Krishna constantly, like his father. He was uttering the name of Lord Krishna while sitting on the sacred place called Gantasila, being in meditation of the comely form of Lord Krishna. At that time, the great devotee Sri Syamasundar Thakur was studying the devotional scriptures at Vrindavan. After getting initiation from Vaishnava Guru Sri Jiva Goswami, this is Shyamananda, Rasikananda and Shyamananda. Rasikananda, I think he is the one who used to ride on lion, ride on any elephant also, ride on different animals, ferocious animals, no fear. So because he has taken shelter, such a fearless, he was a fearless preacher. I think, yeah. So after getting initiation from Vaishnava Guru Sri Jiva Goswami, one of our six Goswamis, one day while Shyamananda Pandit is the one who has established one of the seven principal deities in Vrindavan. Sri Radha Shyam Sundar Mandir is established by this Shyamananda Pandit. So Sri Shyamananda was sitting absorbed in meditation in a lonely garden. Bhagavan Sri Madan Gopal himself appeared before him and said, Shyamananda, immediately proceed to Utkal, where Bhakta Rasika Murari, who is very dear to me, is meditating and chanting my name constantly. Initiate him in the mantra of Sri Krishna and preach my love and devotion widely. But Sri Shyamananda, though came to senses at once by this incident, could not at the outset believe the command of the Lord. So in next few moments, Sri Gopal appeared before Sri Jiva Goswami and ordained him to tell Shyamananda to immediately proceed to Utkal and initiate devotee Rasika Murari in Sri Krishna mantra and preach the art of love and devotion. This has happened many. All the six Goswami has so many dreams. For Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanatana, all of them had dreams. The Lord is directly appearing and Lord is directly talking. Lord Krishna, Srimad Radharani, so many, many pastimes. We're not going to go today to that. So here, Sri Jiva Goswami and ordained him to tell Shyamananda to immediately proceed to Utkal and initiate devotee Rasika Murari in Sri Krishna mantra and preach the art of love and devotion. Sri Shyamananda Goswami reached Utkal in the year 1608 and initiated Rasikananda, the name of Rasika Murari after initiation, and stayed at Utkal now in Orissa and devoted his remaining period of life in preaching love and devotion of Sri Krishna. The Mata where he stayed is now at Kanpur, nearly 4 kilometers from Ras Govindapur and at about 46 kilometers from Baripada, the district headquarters of Mayurbhanj district in Orissa. There, the wooden sandal he used to put on his winter wrapper like Kanta and his samadhi are there. In the year 1630, Shyamananda Swami breathed his last. So Rasikananda Swami was living in a mutt in Gopi Vallabhpur. So I heard this place because Guru Maharaj went there for preaching, Gopi Vallabhpur. So on the bank of the river Suvarna Rekha, which was on the northern border of the executive state of Mayurbhanj, at present in Nayavasan Tehsil of West Midnapur. This is also Midnapur, yeah, West Bengal. And at a distance of 47 kilometers on the road from Baripada via Jamsol. The Mata is very dilapidated condition due to the lack of maintenance and preservation. Once, while Sri Rasikananda Swami was living in a guest of King Vaidyanath Banj of Banapur, the Muslim Subedar Ahmad Beg, who was kept in charge of Orissa, became much irritated of the devotion of Sri Krishna, preached by Rasikananda, which was widely acceptable to common mass. Subedar Beg became furious and asked Swami Rasikananda to pacify a ferocious and rogue wild elephant by his power of devotion to Lord Krishna. This is a test of his devotion. If he fails, he will be punished severely. Rasikananda fearlessly approached the rogue elephant and whispered the name and mantra of Lord Sri Krishna in both the ears of the elephant. Instantly, the nature of the elephant was changed and he became peaceful, obedient, and token of respect for Saint Sri Rasikananda. The elephant prostrated in his feet on seeing this miraculous power of Sri Krishna mantra which Rasikananda preached. Ahmad Bey became stunned and he himself started glorifying the merit and greatness of Sri Rajikananda Swami. Thereafter, Rasikananda Swami returned to Gopi Vallabhpur. Once an intense desire to see the Lord Jagannath of Puri came to his mind. He started to proceed on the foot to Puri, and on the way he was to visit sacred places at Jaipur and other places of pilgrimage located on the bank of the river Vaitarini. There was a delay as a result of which he could not reach Puri Dham in time. On the day of Gundicha, on the day of car festival, the car started moving from Lion Gate towards Sri Gundicha temple in Badadanda. This is a grand road of Jagannath Puri. Knowing this, Sri Rajikananda Swami prayed from the core of his heart, saying, "O Lord, kindly favor me by staying in the car till my arrival, to enable me to have your darshan in the car during car festival." It is a very, very auspicious darshan. Very, very auspicious darshan. To take the darshan of the Lord on the Jagannath, on the cart, on the Rath Yatra, and also at Gundicha Mandir. Adapa darshan is even more auspicious. Mahaprabhu Lord Jagannath is Bhavagrahi and Bhakta Vatsal and Bhakta Bandhu. Kindly wait for my arrival. I think I was hearing recently, I think. Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami. So he was praying and he was chanting. When he heard about Dina Bandhu, then immediately he was still praying. Because you are Dina Bandhu, I am the lowest, I am the most fallen. I am praying to you for your causeless mercy. But then he heard, somebody said, Lord is also called Bhakta Vatsal. Then he became despondent. But you are Bhakta Vatsal, but I am not a devotee. So how I am going to get a mercy if you are only Bhakta Vatsal? But when he heard about Dina Bandhu, that means the Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu, Adama Janara Bandhu. Dina Bandhu or Jana, Adama Janara Bandhu means lowest. That means he is Patita Pavan, is even the whatever background, whatever disqualification we may have, but Lord is ready to accept and give his mercy, causeless mercy. So Rupa Goswami was praying, even though he is highly qualified, he is the direct associate of Lalita and Vishaka Sakya of Srimati Radharani, associates. But this is how, that when the intensity of devotion is there, Akama Sarvakama, Mokshakam Udarati, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Ijeta Purusham Param. One can attain Lord Krishna's mercy by intense absorption in the mood in which you want to serve, constantly thinking of the Lord and his own members, his own devotees, by approaching through his devotees especially. The Pandavas always served his devotees. That's how they got the mercy. So here further, let's see what has happened next. He waited for a sincere devotee in the Nandi Ghosh Rath. This is Lord Jagannath Rath is called Nandi Ghosh. And the none of the three Raths, including that of his, moved in inch forward. The Thakur Maharaj was perplexed at this. Even horses, elephants in large number being yoked to pull the three Raths failed to drag an inch forward. Even when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was as also has done, then Rath Yatra stopped. Lord Jagannath Rath didn't move. They tried all kinds of things. They couldn't move an inch, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to put his head and touch it, then immediately start moving. So our sometimes devotees. So that's why wherever we see the deity installations, it is not so much our qualification, but it is to do with the intensity and absorption. Who installs the deity at temples? It is the Sampradaya Acharya, who has intensity and devotion and submitting to the previous Acharyas. Like Srila Prabhupada established 108 temples in US, most pretty much in US mostly. In India, only very few at the when he was there. Like Hyderabad is one, Vrindavan, Krishna Balram Mandir is one, Mayapur at that time I think they had small deity, but I don't know it is installed or not. And Juhu also he installed the first deity, Radha Ras Bihari, and then one more I think, 3 or 4 only. But rest of them all over the world, 108 temples. Prabhupada here, so many temples. In US, mostly temples are here. Whether it's San Francisco or in Canada, in Berkeley, so and here in New York. So that Sri Radha Govind Dev, the Brooklyn Temple deity. So like that, many. So this is because the Acharya brings the living force and prays to the Lord to bring that living force and calls the Lord to be here at a place. That's how Radha Ras Bihar Juhu pastime happened. Lord, Prabhupada prayed that I want you to be here. I will build you a big temple. I want you to be here and I will do a gorgeous worship of you. Then Lord reciprocated. No matter how many difficulties came, but Now today it's a big, huge temple. Juhu in Bombay is a very famous temple on the beach, close to beach. So that's why it requires some intensity and absorption. We have to follow those who have that intensity. Atmasat. He waited for his sincere devotee in Nandigo's Rath, and none of the three Raths, including that of his, moved an inch forward. Thakur Maharaj was perplexed. Even horses, elephants in large number being yoked to pull the three Raths failed to drag an inch forward. All efforts failed. The Gajapati king prayed and took the shelter of Lord Sri Jagannath to favor him to solve the situation. In his dream, Lord Jagannath told the king, "My devotee Rasikananda is hurriedly rushing to see me on the car during the car festival. He is approaching Puri and is now at Tulasi Chaura, located very near. Seeing me in the car will move of their own accord in the usual pulling. In fact, the dream came true when the king received Rasikananda Swami, and on his touching the cars by his hands, the cars ran on the road, being dragged by devotees, and reached Sri Gundicha temple smoothly. The record testifies the event to have taken place in the year 1640 AD. So, um, yeah. On request, on the request of the king, Rasikananda stayed with Sri Vigraha Bhatta Krishna in Kunja Math, located on the side of Sri Mandir. In fact, that Mata was the first founded by Swami Rasikananda. Rasikananda left Puri for Remuna as Kshirachar Gopinath. That Remuna ordered the Gajapati king in his dream to send him back to render his worship. There at Remuna, Rasikananda, this is where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited, Lord Nityananda Prabhu visited. This is coming from Madhavendra Puri, pastime, beautiful pastime is there at Remuna, so many. If you visit Lord Jagannath Puri, it's a must visit, and then you should visit Remuna also, Kshirachar Gopinath, and take Kheer, Mahaprasad. That is the most famous, most auspicious. Like the Kheer is famous in throughout Vrindavan, especially in Ther Kadam, where Sri Rupa Goswami's place. So they're always preparing kheer for the Lord. Gopis are preparing kheer for Lord Krishna. So there it's famous also. So many places the kheer is famous in many temples, but Remuna is also famous. This Rasikananda stayed and rendered seva puja to of the Lord Kshirachar Gopinath till his last days. Till the date, the Samadhi shrine of Rasikananda is within the premises of the temple at a distance. The residence of Rasikananda is found at Remuna. It was Narsingadev, the Gajapati king, who brought Madan Gopal's deity from Chitrakoot, and that Madan Gopal remained at Remuna, who later on the year 1436, after stealing Kira Bhog for Saint Madhavendra Puri, came to be known as Kshirachar Gopinath. The legend says that Lord Sri Rama has carved this stone deity of Madan Gopal at Chitrakoot by arrows during his stay, and he has shown to Sita Devi. In 1458 AD, the temple for Madan Gopal was built at Remuna, and for arrangement of Seva Puja, landed property was donated by the king. In Chitrakoot, Lord Brahma was worshipping Madan Gopal. Madhavendra Puri, one of the devotees whose mutt is still there, very near to Kshirachar Gopinath temple, Remuna, near Balasur in Orissa. This incident testified the fact that the Lord is even fulfiller of the sincere thoughts of the devotees. Now, the third one. So I think we may go over time today. So, Lord Jagannath of Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. This is Tulsidas from Ramachandra, very famous devotee. He is a Lord Jagannath of Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. Puri is the Param Brahma and ever friendly to his devotees. Lord has shown his his appearance to devotees in the forms they conceived in their minds and wanted to see him. Lord Jagannath satisfied Sant Tulsidas, the author of the great Ramacharita by showing him his Raghunath Vesh, which is enlisted as one of the several Veshas of the Lord Jagannath. Tulsidas was actually, I think, remember correctly, I think initiated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think, if I remember correctly. Realizing the fact that the Lord Sri Jagannath is himself Param Brahma in appearance, Sant Tulsidas in his advanced age proceeded on foot from Kashi, feet to Sri Kshetrapuri, the Jagannath Dham, alone to see his Lord Sri Ramachandra, armed with bow and arrows in Lord Sri Jagannath. This pious desire inspired him to travel, covering a long distance with hardship on the way between Katak and Bhubaneswar in a place named Tulsi Talwa, locally known as Tulsi Sarovar. He took rest at night. Next day, he resumed his journey on foot early in the morning and reached Puri. On his arrival at Puri, he hastened to enter the temple by ascending the Vaisi Pahacha, 22 number of steps. If you remember, we discussed before. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go the 22 steps, and where Lord Nrsimhadev temple is also there. He used to wash his feet at the bottom, and then he used to go on the 22 steps to visit Lord Nrsimhadev. So that is the place. Baisi Pahacha. Head of Lord Jagannath, Vijay in Ratna Simhasan in golden throne. From a little distance, he could see Param Brahma Lord Jagannath with round black eyes in Sri Vigraha, without hands and feet and ears, seated and being worshipped. He could not see Param Brahma according to his conception in the form of Sri Ramachandra. Armed with bow and arrows, being disappointed, he left Puri without taking any food or drink. Bhavagrahi, Janardhan, Sri Jagannath could not tolerate such anxiety of Tulsidas, who was walking on foot. He crossed Atharnala. This is another famous temple. Alarnath, Atharnal. This is Lord Brahma himself. This is also called Brahmagiri. Very close. If you go to Jagannath Puri, make sure to visit Remuna, make sure to visit this Atharnal, Alarnath, Brahmagiri. Very, very beautiful deity. Alarnath, yeah. Swayambhu, I think, installed by Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, I think. And rapidly proceeding from Puri to Kashi via Batamangala on command of Lord Jagannath, Bhakta Hanuman sat on the road bridge over Athar Nal and obstructed Tulsidas from proceeding to Kashi, because Tulsidas is Lord Ramachandra's devotee. So Hanuman is also Lord Hanuman is helping here. And obstructed Tulsidas from proceeding to Kashi. Tulsidas paid no heed to the indication of Hanuman and proceeded ahead on the road to Kashi. On the way, in a village called Malati Patapur, Tulsidas halted in Tulsi Chovora, elevated platform having sacred basil tree in a pot. At night, even in the midst of hunger and thirst, Tulsidas, out of fatigue and frustration, not seeing Sri Ramachandra in Param Brahma, Sri Jagannath fell asleep. While closing his eyes, he saw in a dream Goddess Mahalakshmi telling Lord Jagannath that no devotee returns from Puri without taking Mahaprasad in the form of sacred cooked rice. If any of you don't have it, please ask me when you meet me at temple. So I can give you Lord Jagannath Mahaprasad. This is dry, Nirmalya of the Lord. This is the very, very auspicious. We break the Ekadasi fast on Dwadasi day with Lord Jagannath Maharaj. So without taking Mahaprasad in the form of sacred cooked rice, avda and curry, but devotee Tulsidas has left Puri without taking any food or drink. She requested Lord Jagannath to proceed himself in disguise of small boy, taking the sacred rice and curry, which is called Mahaprasad, and offer him to partake. Sant Tulsidas, when asked by the boy to take Mahaprasad, told him that he would not take prasad. You would not take the sacred rice and curry without seeing Sri Ramachandra in Lord Sri Jagannath, who is hailed as Param Brahma. The boy asked him to open his Ramacharit Manas manuscript, which was available with Tulsidas, written on palm leaves and bound in red cloth. Asked him to refer to Doha 117 from the 5th Chopai to the 8th Chopai, which Tulsidas himself had written, and to read the Balakanda. बिनुपद चलाई सुनाई बिनुकाना कर बिनु करम कराई विधिनाना अनान रहित सकल रस भोगी बिनुबानी भकत जोगी तन बिनु परस नयन बिनु देखा ग्रहाई ग्रण बिन बस अशेष असी संबति अलौकिक करण महिमा जसु जय नहीं नु वरण. I don't know, so I'm not a Sanskrit expert to understand this. He is that Param Brahma who walks without feet, hears without ears, does various works without hands, tastes all sorts of items and juices without mouth. Yeah, similar verse is there. Also for Lord Krishna, without mouth, touches all without. Angani yasa sakalendri vrittimanti pasyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord can do anything and everything without any of his limbs, non-different. Any of his limbs, he can eat with his feet, he can eat with his ears, but still the prasadam can be there, still there. He accepts, but still prasadam is there. That is the beauty of. Touches all without skin, sees all without eyes, and smells all without nose. That Padma Param Brahma is so extraordinarily mysterious that is unknown to gods even. Lord Jagannath is the very said Param Brahma which you have narrated in your above dohas and poems. He is residing in Sri Mandir, being bound and tied with devotion thought of his devotees. The boy narrating this told Tulsidas to return and look again. He can see him in the form of his desired and described in Ramacharitammanas. Tulsidas, being emotionally charged and overwhelmed by the words of the boy, resumed his return journey to Puri, came running and reached Puri, ascended the Baishi Pacha and prostrated before the Lord, sitting in Ratna Simhasan, and in the process Tulsidas lost consciousness. Regaining his senses, he looked at Lord Jagannath with folded hands and standing position. He became surprised to see Sri Ramachandra with bound arrows in hands in Ratna Simhasan. In place of Lord Jagannath, he begged excuse and prayed the Lord to forgive him, as he could not recognize him and could not realize his own version written in Ramacharita Spontaneously, Sant Tulsidas was wept profusely and tears rolled down from his eyes, and he confirmed his version by the inspiration of the Lord in the immortal poem which came out from his mouth. Johi Rama Sohi Jagadish, Dina Hina Ananta Parvata Sesh. Lord Jagannath is Rama. Rama is Lord Jagannath. He is the protector of the poor, downtrodden and neglected, like the mountain is being protected by Seshanag, Ananta, upholding the same by placing the earth over it. I'm trying to recollect. There's a nice, beautiful, short song on Lord Ramachandra. Tulsidas became satisfied, and his journey to see Lord Ramachandra in Puri in Param Brahma Jagannath was fulfilled completely. He returned to Kashi Peeth from Puri Dham on foot, meditating over the event. The Vesha of Lord Jagannath in the shape of Raghunath is called Raghunath Vesh. Sri Raghunath Vesh is too expensive, but it lasts for a period of 7 days, and lakhs of devotees throng to Puri to get darshan of Sri Raghunath Vesh in Ratna Simhasan of the Lord Jagannath. So, in the interest of time, I will not read the Bandhu Mohanty. But there is also one beautiful pastime, more recent pastime, a short pastime of Vibhishan, Lord Ramachandra's devotee. Vibhishan appearing, most recent. This is from 1810. Yeah, at least much recent than the pastime we read. So locally, strongly believe that. Hold on, before that, yeah. Yeah, during the massive cyclone that hit the state of Orissa in 1999-2000, which is very close then, the Weather Bureau had warned people to vacate their homes immediately. Eyewitnesses recalled an astonishing sight atop the Jagannath temple as fierce winds arrived at Puri. The huge chakra disc, which graces the pinnacle of the temple dome, began to glow effulgently and rotate at a dazzling speed. Then suddenly the cyclone was pushed away. Locals strongly believe that mysterious denizens from higher planetary systems arrived to Puri for the darshan of Lord Jagannath. This we know, as we heard before. Lord doesn't sleep. 22 out of 24 hours, 22 hours, Lord Jagannath temple is open. And those 2 hours, the devatas, the higher demigods, come and take darshan of the Lord. There's special time for them. That's 2 hours. So that way we have heard here when the head priest Pattajoshi Mahapatra left for his house after the night duties at Jagannath temple. He saw a 15-foot tall figure walked ahead of him. During those days, there was no electricity, and in the midnight darkness, the priest kept pace with the long steps of the stranger. As the being neared the ocean, Mahapatra felt he would lose him. The stranger would likely disappear into the sea. Frantically, the priest called out, "Please stop and reveal to me who are you." To his amazement, the person stopped, came closer. He was effulgent. His face glowed like a bright sun, even in the darkness. In a gentle voice, he disclosed his identity. "I am Vibhishan, the loyal servant of Lord Rama, known to all as the younger brother of Ravana. I reside in the upper planet unknown to earthly beings, and I visit the temple here every night to participate in the last ritual of the day and take darshan of my beloved Lord. Ordinarily, people can't see me, but you are surely dear to our Lord. Hence, you caught me sneaking out of this most sacred abode of Lord Jagannath." See that again. For whom your Lord will appear? Whom will Lord will give instruction? Whom will Lord will appear in the dream or direct face to face? Only those who have given life and soul, Atmasa. And then anybody who is following them and serving them, then Lord will reciprocate. So that's what is the important point. Pattajoji Mahapatra, still dazzled by the encounter, somehow gathered himself and humbly petitioned, I know you are from outer space. And I don't doubt you at all, because they all know this pastime not just today, one day. So many pastimes happened. But I am keen to tell my folks, I met you. Please give me some souvenir, some to remember to tell others. Vibhishan smiled and pulled out a golden amulet he wore and gave it to the priest. Then he vanished from his vision. Mahapatra fell down trying to hold the ornament. He then literally dragged it to his home. After all, it was the size of a wheel of a bullock cart. It could never have been used by a human being. Even today, more than 200 years later, the ornament is worshipped in the family of the descendants of Pattajoshi Mahapatra. It could be seen and verified. You can understand what is the significance of this pastime. Such a astonishing pastime we can see. Now we should also see that this Atmasat, we should give reference when I mention Atmasat. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita directly mentioning about this, how the devotees of the Lord, especially in Gaudi, Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya in ISKCON, as because Srila Prabhupada so has been the Atmasat devotee of the Lord. So now anybody who is following Srila Prabhupada, his parampara, he is also because one who's real sincerely, dedicatedly, submissively offering and trying to follow. Then they will also Lord will reciprocate, and we can see that. यही तेन ताकुर गौड़ी आके करी आचने आत्मसात यही तिनेर चरण वंदोन तिने मोर नाथ. These three deities of Vrindavan, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Radha Gopinath, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami submitting. So that's why. So one must serve those whose life and soul has become Lord's service. Like Srila Prabhupada. And this year, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is on our line, Brahma Matu Buddhism. He is submitting to the, like Rupa and Sanatan, Narottam Thakur, so many exalted personalities, Acharyas before. They all, because they have become Atmasat devotees of Lord Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Radha, who is established. Radha Mohan, Madan Mohan was established by Sanatan Goswami. Radha Govind they were established by Sri Rupa Goswami. Radha Gopinath was established by, I think, is the principal deity of Raghunath Das Goswami, but I think established by, forget who established. So these three deities, that's why you can see clearly here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning how much. So whoever is following the Gaudiya Vaishnava, especially followers of Lord Chaitanya, especially Srila Prabhupada, as you can see that. Otherwise, there is no possibility to perform these miracles in 10 years, establishing 108 temples all over the world, even Russia, China, Japan. So we can't even imagine doing preaching in any of these places. But we have now temples in pretty much even Middle East. Preaching is going even Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, you name it. Japan. So Japan is there even when Prabhupada was there. So that is the mercy of the Lord. Now we have to see the mercy of Lord Krishna. Before that, we should see a verse from Rupa Goswami is mentioning about this mercy of the Lord. What qualification they have? These Atmasat devotees. व्याधस्य चरणम ध्रुवस्य च वयो विद्य गजेंद्र कस्य का कुब्जस्य कुब्जाय किम उनाम रूपम अधिकम किम तत्सुदामोदनम वंश को विदुरस्य यादव पतेर उग्रस्य किम पौरुषम भक्त्या तुष्यति केवलम न च गुणैर भक्त्या भक्ति प्रियो माधव. Beautiful verse. This is beautiful verse. Vyadasya charanam. Where were the hunter Dharma's piety? What piety he had? Hunter was killing animals left and right. What piety, what qualification he had? But Lord has given his causeless mercy to him by sending Narada Muni and to reviving him. He became Valmiki. So see that, that's why. First one is Vyadasya Acharanam. What Acharan he had? No, he's so much sinful and so unclean. He was half killing the animals and eating. Then Dhruvasya cha vayo vidya. What Dhruva Maharaj had vidya? He is only 5 years old. What education he had? Dhruva's maturity, what maturity he has? But no maturity. But still, Narada Muni again. See, Narada Muni is most of the times spiritual master, so many. He was helping always. Lord sends. One who is really seeking internally, really crying for the Lord's mercy, and then Lord will send. Dhruvasya cha vayo vidya. Gajendrasya ka. So, what Gajendra's knowledge? What knowledge Gajendra had? Hmm? As an elephant. King Indrajimna became elephant, king of elephants. But what knowledge he had? He had no knowledge. But Lord Vishnu appeared and helped him to kill the crocodile. Kubjasya kim va nama rupam adhikam. What beautiful form Kubja had? Kubja, right? We'll read in a few minutes. So where was Kubja's beauty? No beauty. So Lord is only looking at the what is internal consciousness. Then Nama Rupam Adhikam Kim Tat Sudamo Dhanam. But Sudama, what wealth he had? Sudama was very, very poor. Only his wife told, now you go and see the Lord, your friend. You can see then Sudama actually glorified his wife. I don't want to ask anything, but because of you asking, now I am able to go. Till now, I never thought about going and taking darshan of the Lord. But now, because you are requested, now I am getting an opportunity to go and see the Lord in Dwarka. So what a mercy. So in that way, he was glorifying his wife. So here it is mentioned Sudama. Tat Sudamo Dhanam. Where was Sudama's wealth? And then Vamsa ko Vidurasya. What Vamsa, what lineage? He was son of a Sudrani. Vidra's background. Yamaraj was being cursed by Mandukya Muni. Then he appeared in a son of a Sudra. Dasi Putra. Because generally the king will bring the maid servants also. He was born from a maid servant. Where was Vidra's noble birth? Then Yadav Pater Ugrasya, King Ugrasena. What valor he had, but he made the king. Where was Ugrasena's chivalrous strength? But Lord Krishna didn't take the position of a king. Rather, he told, we put on the seat Ugrasena. He was guiding them, but King Ugrasena was ruling. So what? But Lord is mercy. You can see. Bhaktya tushyati. Lord Madhava is pleased only by devotional service. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam nacha gunair bhakti priyo Madhava. Only by devotional service and not by material qualification. This is in Bhajana Mahatmya, the glory of devotional service. This is in one of the verses. Rupa Goswami has written so many books. One of the book is called Padyavali. In that there are so many quotations. There is the glories of devotees, there is the glories of the holy name, the glories of scripture, glories of the so many different glories. He compiled all these verses like gems. Each verse is a gem. So in Padyavali, it is 60 plus verses or 100 plus verses. One of the verses is this. It's quoting the glory of the Lord, how much Lord is dear. We'll read the Lord Krishna's mercy as Achyuta infallible, how it became. So, and then we'll stop. Sorry for going extra time, but it's important to hear. This is in 10th canto, 86th chapter. We're reading. Sukadeva Goswami continued, there was a devotee of Krishna. So, not this one. Not this one. And also before that, another Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, Atmasat. Because when I say Atmasat, you may not understand, but when I give the context and the example, then you can understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to this place, Kulina Gram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, in this village, even the pigs, everything I accept, everybody as a devotee. My mercy is fully to everyone in Kulina Gram. Even those who are selling pigs, or whoever, everyone, including animals, all living entities. Understand? Because the two devotees, Satyaraj Khan, Punaraj Khan, was served. Lord has made them his own devotees. And by their mercy, the whole village, the Lord is telling here, in this is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. No one can describe the fortunate position of the Kulina Gram. It is so sublime that even the sweepers who tend their pigs, they also chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Even those. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling this. Further. All the inhabitants of Kulinagram village, headed by Vaninath Vasu, were servants of Lord Chaitanya, who was their only life and wealth. Vaninath Vasu Adi Yata Grami Jana Sabhi Chaitanya Brutya Chaitanya Pranadhan. This is what. Unless one makes the really life and soul as Lord and his representative, very difficult to become Atmasat. It is very difficult to get the mercy. Right? When will you share your bank details or confidential? If somebody is a very close friend, you know in and out, and he knows you and you know him. Anyway, when will Lord will give himself to someone? When somebody also thinking Lord is mine, he is mine only. I am his and he is mine. The Lord is also thinking, E bhajanti te maam bhaktya chap maam aham. So one who is loving, engaging, loving devotion service to me, I am also in them and he is also in me. He is thinking of me and I am also thinking of him. I am not independent. Lord is telling. Swatantra hi dvija. Bhakta Bhakta Janapriya. I am not independent. Everybody think I am Lord, I am independent. But I am not independent. I am dependent. I am being controlled by my devotees, my unalloyed devotees. And that is what we are coming to. The Lord said, what to speak of others? Even a dog in the village of Kulinagram is my dear friend. You can understand how significant it is. This is what we have to follow. No one can describe the fortunate position of Kulinagram. It is so sublime that even the sweepers who tend their hogs, they also chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that's significant. So that's why we have to follow those who have dedicated, who are following the Atma Sat, like Sri Prabhupada and Sri Prabhupada's disciples who has given their life and soul to the Lord. Then we can also get instructions from the Lord. We will be able to see the Lord. We will be able to communicate with the Lord very quickly and rapidly. So it all depends on what we want to follow. Now the weaver, yeah. Krishna Balram. Now this is the pastime where Akrura brought Lord Krishna and Balram by the Kamsa's order to Mathura, and then this is the pastime is happening. Lord Krishna and Balram put on pairs of garments that desperately pleased them. Then Krishna distributed the remaining clothes among the cowherd boys, leaving some scattered on the ground. Before that, this washerman was a Kamsa's man. He didn't recognize the Lord. He had no idea of the Lord. He is fully atheist, fully ignorant, fully envious of the Lord. He rejected. When Lord asked, he rejected. That means no confidence. Paramatma is there. It means how much envious he has to be in order to reject Lord. He couldn't recognize. He rejected the one. So then further he spoke very enviously to the Lord. The son of Devaki became angry because of this way washerman. With fingertips itself, Lord killed that washerman. Now you will see the opposite. How much these devotees who are so simple. Thereupon weaver came forward. This is a weaver, nice devotee, feeling affection for the Lord, nicely adorned their attire with cloth ornaments and various colors. Srila Deva Goswami explains that the weaver adorned the Lord with cloth, armlets, and earrings that looked just like the jewels. The word Anurupata indicates that the colors match nicely. So this weaver nicely immediately offered whatever best for the dress matching. Lord was so pleased. Krishna and Balram looked resplendent, each in his own unique, wonderfully ornamented outfit. They resembled a pair of young elephants, one white and other black, decorated for a festive occasion. Pleased with the weaver, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna blessed him that after death he would achieve the liberation of attaining a form like the Lord's, and that while in this world he would enjoy supreme opulence, physical strength, influence, memory, sensory vigor. This is in 10:41-42, 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 41st chapter, 42 verse. Tasya prasanno Bhagavan Pradat Sarupyam Atmana Sriyam cha Paramam cha Loke Bala Aishwarya Smriti Indriyam. What else you need? What else you need? Tata Sudamno Bhavanam Mala Karasya Jagmatu Tau Društva Su Samuttaya Nanama Sirasa Bhuvi. The two lords then went to the house of the garland maker Sudama. When Sudama saw them, he at once stood up and then bowed down and placing his head on the ground. See that mood of consciousness. Immediately, he could recognize. Who allows recognize? That's our prayer should be whenever we go to temple. Oh my Lord, please allow me to recognize a Vaishnava. Allow me to understand the desire of an Acharya. Allow me to execute, give me a spiritual strength, spiritual intelligence to understand your mercy, understand the Vaishnava, understand his instructions, understand how to serve Vaishnava, how to serve you. I don't know anything. I have no knowledge. I have no qualification. You have to give me this, all this. Then only I can serve you. I can help. I can improve myself. Otherwise, I have no idea. So in this way, when we pray, when we submit, then we can see that consciousness. Paramatma is the one who is helping. He's seeing what is our consciousness, what are we desiring, what we are praying, what we are looking for. Then Paramatma accordingly reciprocates. He arranges the situation. He arranges the spiritual master. He arranges the situation for us to do service, for us to come to temple. Everything Lord arranges. It is not. We can think so many things, but it cannot happen unless we have the right consciousness, right mood. And that is what is important here. Also, the flower garland maker Sudama. This is another Sudama. Sudama Vipra who went to Lord Krishna and Dwaraka is different from this Sudama, the garland maker. After offering them the seeds, bathing their feet, Sudama worshipped them and their companion with arghya, garlands, palm, sandalwood paste, and other presentation. Such a small work, hardly garland work, how much they can make, but intensity is there. See how much, not he was not satisfied with let me have just this flower. No, he's thinking, see this. But when we have all the wealth, we don't even think like that. But here you can see that with arghya, garlands, palm, sandalwood paste, and other presentation. That means whatever he got, he is ready to offer. He wants to offer the best things to the Lord, even though he has only limited things. And that is what Bhavagrahi Janan, that's why Lord is so satisfied. You will see the blessings he receives. It's amazing. Sudama said, "Oh Lord," and his prayers also, see the attitude. Oh Lord, my birth is now sanctified and my family free of contamination. Now that you both have come here, my forefathers, demigods, great sages are certainly all satisfied with me. You two lords are the ultimate cause of the entire universe. To bestow sustenance and prosperity upon this realm, you have descended with your plenary expansions. Because you are the well-wishing friends of the Supreme Soul of the whole universe, you regard all with unbiased vision. Therefore, although you reciprocate your devotees' loving worship, you always remain equally disposed toward all living beings. Please order me. Now you see that. He is asking. Please order me. I am your servant to do whatever you wish. He is not looking. He is not looking for his own desires. He is not looking to please his own senses. But he is asking the Lord. This is the etiquette. This is the mood. That's why Lord is reciprocating. Lord has arranged this situation. See his mood. So this is what we have to develop. Please order me, your servant, to do whatever you wish. To be engaged by you in some service is certainly a great blessing for anyone. This is what we have to look. We have to always pray for this. Then Lord will arrange. Then Lord will arrange. Sukadeva Goswami continued, "Oh, best of the kings, having spoken those words, Sudama could understand what Krishna and Balaram wanted. Thus, with great pleasure, he presented them with the garlands of fresh, fragrant flowers." So whenever we visit temple, we should try best fresh fruits, fresh fragrant flowers. Always we should try something like that. Beautifully adorned with this garland, Krishna and Balaram were delighted. So were their companions. The two lords then offered the surrendered Sudama was bowing down before them whatever benediction he desired. See that now you'll see what Lord Krishna is. Sudama chose, what did he chose? Unshakable devotion for Krishna, the supreme soul of all existence, friendship with his devotees, and transcendental compassion for all living beings. It's very difficult. Unless we have the right consciousness, we can't even think like this. So api vavre chalam bhaktim tasmin eva akilatmani tad bhakteshu cha sauhridam bhuteshu cha dayam param. I want unshakable devotion, one, and then I want friendship with your devotees. This is what Atmasa, that's what I was telling. Unless you are taking shelter of those devotees who are their life and soul is Lord and his acharyas, then you will get mercy. Then Lord will start giving instruction and showing his mercy, giving you everything, whatever you need. So that not directly. We can't get directly anything. So here we can see that friendship with his devotees, that's why he's asking. I want devotees association. I want friendship with devotees. And transcendental compassion for all living beings, daya. Because Lord is giving mercy. I am not qualified, but I am getting mercy. Then what I am supposed to do? I should be giving mercy to others. I should be compassionate. If I hold on to it, that means I'm becoming selfish. But see that. That's why Lord has reciprocated. Such consciousness, one is exalted consciousness. So already 8:29, but we'll stop. Much more to say. This is a very, very wonderful, beautiful pastime of this particular point of infallible position of the Lord, causeless mercy of the Lord, how he showers is to Arjuna, and he showers to all of us also. So let's take it up sincerely and try our best so that we can perfect our life also and go back home, back to God in this life. So thank you very much for joining today. We'll stop here.